took the hospital security job because night shifts paid double and the place was supposed to be empty after 11. Just me, 4 floors, and a clipboard. The head guard, Marion, walked me through on my first evening. "Stick to the lit hallways," she said, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. "The West Wing's under renovation. Lights are motion activated, but the wiring's touchy. You'll see doors marked B-level service. Those stay locked. Old steam tunnels, asbestos issues, nothing down there but mold." The other guards, Ed and Denise, echoed this during handoffs with the same pleasant firmness. "B-level's off limits." They'd nod knowingly, like I'd understand eventually. On my third night, I found a logbook in my desk drawer I hadn't noticed before. The handwriting changed every few pages, but the entries were identical. Checked B-level door, secure. Checked B-level door, secure. Hundreds of them, spanning years. When I mentioned it to Ed, he barely glanced up, or previous guards were thorough. You should be too. The door appeared on my rounds Friday night. Brushed steel, no window, marked B-level service corridor. The handle was warm. I reported it to Marion via radio. "Oh, that one." A long pause. "Just make sure it's locked. Don't use your master key there. It's keyed separately for maintenance." But my master key was already in my hand, and it fit. The stairwell descended in strange geometry. 12 steps, a landing that turned left. 12 more steps, another left turn, repeating until I'd somehow descended 5 flights in a space that should have been 2. The corridor below was spotless, fluorescent lit, lined with doors numbered in descending negatives. 1, 2, 3. At 7, I heard it. A paging system crackling to life. "Security to B-level. We have your replacement ready." My own name followed, then static. I ran to 9. Through its window I saw myself. My exact uniform, my face, sitting at a desk I'd never seen, writing in a logbook. The figure looked up. Our eyes met. It smiled and waved me inside. I bolted. Back up the impossible stairs through the door, which locked behind me with a sound like a vault ceiling. The announcement started that night, overhead pages calling my name to B-level, always when I was alone. In the reflection of the dark windows during rounds, I'd glimpse myself in that other corridor, walking toward doors I wasn't opening. The logbook filled itself, my handwriting, but I never wrote it. Checked B-level door, secure. I found the archive in the basement file room, a 1987 newspaper clipping, hospital security guard missing, David Ortega, 34, last seen on overnight shift. 12 more clippings, spanning decades. All night guards, all vanished. Behind them, architectural plans showing the B-level as a Cold War fallout shelter, repurposed as administrative continuity infrastructure. Marion appeared in the file room doorway. The kindness had drained from her face, leaving only exhaustion. "You opened it." Not a question. "What is that place?" "A replacement system." She sat heavily. "The hospital built it during the Cuban Missile Crisis, meant to keep essential operations running if the world ended. But they used some experimental design, recursive architecture, supposed to create infinite workspace from finite space. It worked. Too well, it started anticipating needs. When David went missing in 87, we found him down there, or a version of him, already doing his rounds. The real David never came back up. The system keeps itself staffed now. You knew. You've all been containing it. As long as the door stays locked, as long as someone living checks the logs and maintains the surface routine, it stays dormant. You broke containment. It's seen you. It's already made your replacement. She laid out my options with clinical detachment. I could join the rotation, know the truth, check the door, never speak of it, train my replacement when I retired. I could quit, leave the city, but the pages would follow, crackling from every PA system I passed. Or I could go back down, confront my double, try to prove I was the real one. The last person who tried that, Marion said, we found both versions working down there. I still work the night shift, 23 years now. I check the B-level door every round and mark the log, secure. The pages call my name once a week, regular as clockwork. In security footage, I sometimes see myself in corridors I'm not patrolling. The question that keeps me awake isn't whether I'm real, it's whether I ever came back up those stairs. Tonight I'm training my replacement. His master key fits every door. I haven't told him which one not to open. I'm telling you this because you asked why I moved back in with my parents at 32. You laughed like it was a quarter-life crisis thing. It's not. 3 months ago, I was still in that studio in Portland, the one on Hawthorne with the good coffee place downstairs. Rent was $1,450, which hurt, but the building was 1920s brick with tall windows. I worked remote for a medical billing company, boring, stable, fine. My apartment was 4B. The door had one of those old brass peepholes and a deadbolt I always used because the building's main entrance lock was broken. The hallway had 6 units, mine at the end. I knew my neighbors by sound, not sight. 4A was a couple who fought quietly at 2 a.m. 4C was an older man whose TV ran Fox News on a loop. On March 14th, I came home around 6 p.m. with groceries, Tillamook cheddar, sourdough from New Seasons, the ingredients for shakshuka. I unlocked my door, stepped inside, locked it behind me. That's habit. I remember putting the groceries on, the counter, noticing I'd left my bedroom light on, annoyed at myself for wasting electricity. Then I heard my deadbolt unlock from the outside. Not a key fumbling. The clean metallic chunk of someone who knew exactly what they were doing. I froze, with a box of eggs in my hand. The door opened. I stepped into my apartment. I don't mean someone who looked like me, I mean me. Same black Patagonia hoodie I was wearing. Same wire-rimmed glasses, same chipped nail polish on the left thumb. It looked at me with my own face and said, "You're early." Her voice was mine, flat, irritated. I dropped the eggs. She closed the door behind her, locked it, and walked past me into the kitchen. She started putting away my groceries, the ones I was still holding in the bags, except she had the same bags, the same items, 2 of everything. "What the fuck are you?" I managed. She didn't look at me. "I live here. You need to leave." "This is my apartment." "No." She opened the fridge. Inside were items I'd bought days ago, the same Tillamook cheddar, half-eaten. "I've been here all week. Check the visitor log." "What visitor log?" She pointed to the coffee table. There was a spiral notebook I'd never seen. The top page, in my handwriting. March 14th, 6:47 p.m. Visitor arrived. Refused to leave. I grabbed my phone to call 911. It was dead. I'd charged it that morning. 78% when I left work. She pulled an identical phone from her pocket, unlocked it with my thumbprint pattern, and showed me her screen. Text messages to my mom, my coworker Derek, all dated today, all in my voice. "Running late, traffic's bad, making dinner, call you tomorrow." "You can't be here," she said. "There's only space for one." I ran for the door. She didn't stop me. The hallway was empty. I pounded on 4A. No answer. 4C meant nothing. I tried the stairwell. It went down 1 flight and looped back to the 4th floor again. Every exit deposited me back outside my own door. She was waiting, holding it open. See, you're the glitch. I'm what's supposed to be here. I shoved past her, locked myself in the bathroom. She didn't follow. I heard her cooking. The sizzle of eggs, the smell of cumin and paprika, shakshuka, my recipe. At 11 p.m. she knocked. You can sleep on the couch, but tomorrow you need to go. I didn't sleep. At 4 a.m. I checked the notebook. New entry, my handwriting. March 15th, 4:03 a.m. Visitor still here. Erratic behavior, refusing help. At dawn, the front door was unlocked. The hallway was normal again. I ran. I stayed with a friend, then my parents. I never went back. I reported it to the landlord. He said I'd paid rent through April, asked if I wanted to renew. I checked my bank account. Rent auto-debited on the 1st. Like always, someone was still living there. I tried to find records, proof. The building directory listed one tenant in 4B. My name, my move-in date. I called Derek. Yeah, you told me you were staying in that night? Sent me a picture of your dinner? He showed me. Shakshuka in my blue bowl, my counter, timestamp March 14th, 7:32 p.m. I wasn't there. I was at my friend's, shaking. My parents think it was a breakdown. Maybe it was, but sometimes I get emails from my old apartment, utilities, package deliveries. Someone's still signing for them. Someone's still paying my old Wi-Fi bill, streaming my Spotify playlists. Last week, my mom showed me a photo. Look, someone in Portland has your face on a missing poster. It was me. The date, March 14th. The question I can't answer is simple. Which one of us went missing? This is going on record because my lawyer says I need documentation. Not for the lawsuit, that's dead, you'll see why, but for my own protection. So here it is. I'm a home inspector, licensed, bonded, 15 years in the business. I've seen black mold that looked like continents, foundations cracked like spider webs, asbestos wrapped around pipes like Christmas garland. I know houses. I know what's structurally possible. The Cherrywood property came through my scheduler on October 3rd. Standard pre-purchase inspection for a couple relocating from California. The Hendersons' tech money, first-time buyers. The house was a 1960s ranch in Beaverton, 2,400 square feet, listed at $620K. Nothing special. I arrived at 9 a.m. with my usual kit. Fluke moisture meter, Ryobi laser measure, Milwaukee headlamp, clipboard with my 37-point checklist. The listing agent, Vanessa, met me outside. She was scrolling her phone, barely looked up. Basement access is through the kitchen, she said. Previous owner was elderly, place has been empty 6 months. Lock the door when you're done. The house was generic. Beige carpet, popcorn ceilings, that specific old person smell of Lysol and stale air. I worked through the main floor systematically. Outlets, windows, roof access via attic hatch. Everything mediocre but functional. I saved the basement for last. I always do. Basements are where the expensive problems hide. The door was in the kitchen next to the pantry, standard wooden door, brass knob. It opened onto carpeted stairs descending into darkness. I flipped the light switch. Nothing. I noted it. Basement lighting inoperative. Check breaker. I clicked on my headlamp and went down. 13 steps. I counted. The basement was unfinished. Concrete floor, exposed joists, furnace in the corner, water heater against the far wall. Maybe 800 square feet. I started with the furnace, Lennox G60, 20 years old, filter clogged with dust. I photographed it, checked the heat exchanger for cracks. Then I heard footsteps above me in the kitchen. I looked up. Through the gaps in the floorboards, I could see movement. Someone walking. I called out, "Vanessa, that you?" No answer. The footsteps stopped. I went back to work. Checked the water heater, Bradford White 2008, sediment buildup. I was writing notes when I heard it again. Footsteps. But now they were on the basement stairs. I turned. No one there. My headlamp beam caught the empty staircase. 13 steps, all visible. Then I heard my own voice from the top of the stairs. "Basement lighting inoperative, check breaker." It was my exact tone, my exact pacing, like a recording played back. I backed toward the furnace. My hand found my phone, 11% battery, no signal. Typical for basements. I started for the stairs. Halfway up, I met myself coming down. Same headlamp, same clipboard, same red Milwaukee jacket. It walked past me, through me, like I was smoke. I felt cold, then nothing. I turned and watched myself crouch by the furnace, examining the heat exchanger exactly as I'd done 30 seconds ago. I ran. Up the stairs, through the kitchen, out the front door. Vanessa was still in her car on a phone call. I yanked her door open. "There's someone in the basement." She frowned. "I've been here the whole time. No one went in." I stopped. "How do I explain?" "Just come look." We went inside. Down to the basement. Empty. Furnace, water heater, concrete floor. My clipboard was sitting on the bottom step. I hadn't left it there. I'd had it with me. I opened it. My handwriting. "Basement lighting inoperative. Check breaker. Furnace. Lennox G60. Filter clogged. Water heater. Bradford White 2008, sediment buildup." All the notes I hadn't written yet. Vanessa was looking at me strangely. "You okay? You're shaking." I left. Told her I'd email the report. I sat in my truck for an hour trying to rationalize it. Exhaustion. Carbon monoxide. Exposure. Microstroke. I sent the report that night from memory. Standard stuff. Nothing unusual. The Hendersons closed on the house October 28th. On November 2nd, I got a call from Vanessa. "The Hendersons want to speak with you, something about the basement?" I drove over. They met me at the door, upset, but trying to stay polite. "We found something you missed," Mr. Henderson said. We went to the basement. The light worked now. Bright LED bulbs. In the corner, behind the water heater where I'd stood, there was a door. Narrow, painted the same gray as the concrete. Easy to miss. "It wasn't on the disclosure," Mrs. Henderson said. "We only found it yesterday when we were cleaning." The door was unlocked. It opened onto another staircase. "Hey, going down?" I didn't go. I told them to call a contractor, lied about another appointment, and left. I haven't been back. But I pulled the county records. The house was built in 1964. Original plans show a single-level basement, 800 square feet. No sub-basement, no second staircase. I checked permits. Nothing filed, ever. The Hendersons stopped responding to my emails 3 weeks ago. I drove past the house last Tuesday. Their cars were in the driveway, lights on. But when I checked the property records yesterday, it's listed as vacant. Inspection scheduled for resale, December 4th. Different inspector. The question that keeps me awake: when I saw myself in that basement, which one of us was the echo? And how many stairs down does that second staircase go?